Hi, and welcome to another narration presented by yours truly, Cryptids Roost. Please be so kind as to throat punch the like button, and don't forget to smack the arse of that subscription button as well. Plus, don't forget to share the video far and wide. This will help with YouTube's algorithm and will help promote the channel more. And if you would like to support the channel and help make it grow, any and all donations can be made to paypal.me/cryptidsroost and would be most gratefully received. If you enjoy listening to the following story, be sure to pop over to the author's Reddit profile and drop them a line, or even give them a glowing review. The link to their Reddit profile will be below in the description. And don't forget to check out our merch store. The link will be in the description and in the video thumbnail. And if you would like an honourable mention, send in a snapshot of yourself with your purchase, and I'll feature it in one of my videos. And if you're going to leave a dislike, please leave a comment as to why. That way I can review the video, see what you didn't like about it, and possibly make any future changes in the upcoming videos. Thank you. And finally, have you written a creepypasta story you would like me to narrate? Have you had any cryptid sightings, paranormal or supernatural encounters? You can submit your stories and encounters to cryptidsroost@gmail.com. And if you would like to remain anonymous, that's fine with me. All links are listed below. So grab your coffee, sit back and enjoy the show. And don't forget, where fear is, happiness is not. I work at the only pizza place in town, Part 3. This fantastic story is written by the pizza man 2222, aka Rose Black 2222, a wonderful author over on Reddit's Nosleep subreddit. Hey guys, it's Nick from the last post. If you're wondering where Pete is, he's in the hospital. I visited him and he said he got his leg stabbed, then broken by what he described as some incredibly fucked up shit. Before I tell you about it, I have to admit I was wrong about what I accused him of before. All it took was seeing another one of those monstrosities the next night after he let me stay at his place. In that instance, I saw what is known as a big mouth, which was a spherical spider-legged creature with a large mouth, as its name implies, full of razor-sharp teeth. I was outside, getting some fresh air on Pete's porch, when I saw that thing come out of the woods. I would have gone back inside, but my dumbass ended up locking myself out. Given that Pete's house was covered in runes, I thought I was safe. But webs are a thing, which it shot from its mouth and used to pull me towards it. I didn't have any time to react. I struggled as its web pulled me towards its open mouth, but it was no use. I thought I was a goner when a car came whizzing by and struck the creature's legs, taking them off. Its body hit the ground face first. Not wasting any time, I pulled my shirt off, which the web was attached to, and threw it at the creature. It kept moving, like a turtle on its back that was trying to flip itself over. I actually found it somewhat amusing, until it started to roll towards me. I was going to make a run for it when the same car from before struck it again. This time the person in question got out of his car. "Fucking dear think they own the place," he said to the now dead thing in the road in a heavily slurred voice. He gave it a swift kick in one of its eyes before getting back in his car. Then he drove off, hitting several wooden mailboxes going down the road. This town really needs to do something about its drunk driver problem. But seeing as how one saved me, I guess I shouldn't complain about them too much. Pete arrived shortly after and seeing the thing on the road and me without a shirt, figured quickly what happened. He unlocked the door for me, then proceeded to show me ways to defend myself against the creatures. He had spare knives with runes on them he was kind enough to let me have. I asked him if he had another copy of his rune book, but it was the only one, and I thought it was too important to ask him for it. I just settled on taking pictures of each individual page from my phone, which as you can imagine is tedious as hell. My car was fixed the next day, and still on a tight schedule to make it to my grandpa's funeral, I had to head straight out from the mechanic's shop. I already had everything I brought to Pete's house, so there was no need to go back there. Pete drove me to the mechanic's shop and saw me off from there. We exchanged numbers and I told him I'd contact him after I was done with the funeral. I don't feel comfortable going into much detail about the funeral, but I made it to it 3 days later, and while it was hard to get through, I was glad to see my grandpa off one last time. I called Pete after the funeral at the motel I was staying at. I asked him if he was safe, and he replied that he was doing alright, but was annoyed by how busy work had been that week. We talked for a little while about the funeral and the fact that Mrs. Formaggio's mother had suffered a heart attack. He told me that they were staying at her mother's to give her emotional support and wouldn't be back until Thursday. Then he asked me if I wanted to meet up with him in town on Friday afternoon when he was off work. As much as I liked Pete, I didn't want to revisit a town surrounded by woods filled with dangerous creatures that can kill me. So we agreed he'd meet me outside of town where the creatures didn't show up. At least that was the original plan. I was driving up to our specified location on Friday when I heard one of my tyres pop. "Motherfucker!" I screamed when I saw my front right tyre had run over a pile of rusty nails, as well as a few glass bottles. "Who the fuck did this? Who did this?" I yelled, then punched my passenger door out of sheer frustration. I wouldn't have minded so much if I had a spare tyre to use, and if it didn't mean going back into town, not seeing any other choice, I called a tow truck to come get me. It arrived from town at about 6:30. After hooking my car, picked me up, I asked him if he happened to know Pete. "The pizza man? Hell yeah! I've been to a lot of pizza places, but let me tell ya, Formaggio's are some good shit. But Pete's in the hospital." "What? Why?" "He had a run-in with one of those monsters today." "I'll be sure to pay him a visit then." "When you do, tell him Mikey said hey. I'd visit him, but work is a bitch." I drove my car from the shop an hour later, then headed to the hospital. By the time I got there, it was almost night time. Pete was especially happy to see me again. "Hey," he told me. "Hey back," I said, then relayed the message to him that Mike gave me. Heh, I'll have to give him some free pizza. I still owe him for that favour he did for me last month. Said favour being... My battery died when I was running errands last month, and I also forgot my wallet. I left it at home. But Mike gave me a free tow and lift. That was nice of him. By the way, what the hell happened to your leg?" Pete's right leg was in a purple cast. "Oh, that. I had to deliver to Carl, the dude that owns the gun store in town." "Crazy Carl?" "Yeah, him. I usually don't have any problems when delivering to him, but in that case I had to drive up to his home. Since he was feeling sick and couldn't run his shop, Honestly, he told us if we thought it was too dangerous to deliver to his place, we didn't have to. In hindsight, I probably shouldn't have volunteered to do it. Carl's house is located pretty deep in the woods outside town. To be honest, the delivery was going fine until I went up to his door with the pizzas and soda, then rang the doorbell. I felt something hit my back, then yank me. The next thing I knew, I was pinned by my leg upside down to a tree." "What did it do to you?" "A tall motherfucker. I've actually never seen that kind of creature in person before. Only in my book, it was the one with the two mouths for eyes." "You mean the one where it had a second mouth in place of its eyes?" "Yeah, that one. And two long-ass tongues that it used to pull me back. It pinned my leg to the tree using one of what would you describe its claws as? Scythe-like? Yeah, let's go with that. It hurt like fuck, but I didn't want to scream in fear it would attract more creatures." "Didn't you have any weapons with you?" "I did, and I tried pulling one out, but the bastard knocked it out of my hand before I could use it. I was pretty sure I was fucking dead when it raised its other claw." Then I heard a small chink sound and saw it start to slump forwards, which was not good for me because man did it breath smell. Ha! You got a good sense of humour for someone who was almost killed. What can I say? Laughter is the best medicine. So, as I was saying, I saw that an arrow that I figured had some runes carved into the head had been shot into the back of the tall fucker's skull. It turned to look who'd shot it, and when it did, I saw the top of his head had been blown off. It fell to the ground, during which his claw slipped from my leg, and I fell as well. I ended up landing on my injured leg, which broke, as you can see. Carl rushed over to me, then brought me inside, and after bandaging my leg as best he could and getting his pizzas and soda off the ground, drove me up to the hospital. He wanted to keep pizzas that were on the ground? Yeah, but he said since they were still in the boxes, they were still good. Anyways, he drove me to the hospital. We arrived there at 3, and I've been here since. I'm happy that you survived, Pete. Same, goddammit. I have a ton of games and shows I've been meaning to try, and will not die before I get a chance to. But can you do me a favour, Nick? I've actually been making posts on Reddit about my experiences. I was supposed to do it today, but, well, you know. So you want me to do it? If it's not too much trouble. No problem. Thanks. And feel free to let them know how things have been going with you. I just might. That brings us to now. It's after 3:30 in the morning as I post this from my phone. Pete has fallen asleep, and I'm about to head down to grab some food from the snack machines. Pete will probably be well enough to post to you guys again next week. I'm going, to be honest. I don't currently have a job or anything, and this town is starting to grow on me despite its obvious hazards. Maybe it's just because of Pete, but I'm starting to like this place. Who knows, I might just stay for a little while after he's discharged from the hospital. This is Nick, signing out.